morning, everybody. So I had posted on my personal Facebook page as well as in our group. Don't mind the noise. Emma's found some bags she's playing with. Whatever keeps her quiet, right? As long as it won't hurt her. Alright, so I posted on my personal Facebook page as well as in the group about Freezer Friendly Friday. So this is the first episode of that. And today I'm going to show you freezer friendly pizza bagels. These are really good for lunch. Pop them in the microwave. You know the bagel bites that you can buy at the grocery store? These are like those, only you don't have all the extra stuff. And they're cheaper. They save you quite a bit of money. You can make a whole lot for a little or nothing. Make them the way you want them too. So, anyways, so I'm going to get started on these and I'll show y'all what I'm doing. Alright guys, the first thing you want to do is you want to break your bagels apart, which sometimes can be easier said than done. So, break those apart. And I have a cookie sheet here. These are not going to be pre-cooked. I don't pre-cook mine. I guess you could if you wanted to. I just don't. But I put them in the freezer to flash freeze once I get them ready. And then once they're flash froze, which just means they're slightly frozen, not completely hard frozen. Once they're flash froze, then I will place them in either a freezer bag or I will vacuum seal them. Just depends on what I'm in the mood to do, actually, to be honest with you. Today, just to show you guys, I will vacuum seal some of them. That will be later on this afternoon because they have to go in the freezer and flash freeze first. And the reason that you want to flash freeze them is because if you put these in a Ziploc bag or if you try to vacuum seal them and the sauce is not somewhat frozen, then it's going to get everywhere, one, and two, if you vacuum seal them, your vacuum sealer could suck the sauce up in your machine. So this cookie sheet is full. Hold on just a second. I've got to grab another one. All right. And if y'all can hear it, yes, that's Mickey Mouse in the background playing. Emma Grace absolutely loves her Mickey Mouse. Goodness, some of these are hard to get apart. Alright, now I got those, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I just use spaghetti sauce, just whatever flavor that you like, that you want. I use the chunky mushroom and green pepper spaghetti sauce from Walmart. You can use pizza sauce if you want to. Spaghetti sauce is just cheaper, so that's why I get it. And plus, I have it on hand. It's something that I keep in my pantry at all times, keep stocked. So that's why I just use it. That way I'm not buying anything extra. If I had homemade spaghetti sauce, of course, I would be using it instead of the store-bought. So it would be even less of the junky stuff that you don't want. You know, when the things that you eat, if you read the ingredients, the stuff that you buy from the store, there's a lot of stuff in it that you're more likely probably gonna not know what it is, and you're gonna be like, why in the world? What? But homemade stuff obviously is not like that. You're gonna know what you have in it because you put it in it, and you don't have all those additives and all that stuff that you don't really need. And plus, it's homegrown. You know, I mean, just like this here, the ingredients in this says tomato puree, which is water and tomato paste, diced tomatoes and tomato juice, mushrooms, green bell peppers, onions, sugar, yes, sugar, and then it says it contains less than 2% of soybean oil, salt, spices. Well, spices is a broad range. What kind of spices? Dehydrated garlic, citric acid, which you're gonna have that. You gotta put the citric acid. All it does is help keep the color, so it doesn't turn like a nasty, yucky color. And then you got the last ingredient is natural flavor. Okay, what does that mean? I don't know what does natural flavor. You know, it's a broad range of stuff. So even though the FDA requires companies to put the ingredients on their products, it doesn't mean they don't have to put a detailed ingredient. You know, they don't have to tell exactly what that ingredient is, just like the natural flavor. Well, exactly what is that? The spices. Exactly what kind of spices? Where did they come from? How were they grown? And I could go on and on. But anyway, so for today, I'm using this because I do not have homemade spaghetti sauce on hand. Hopefully I will soon. Alright, so you use a brush. This is, yes, it's Pampered Chef. I love Pampered Chef stuff. No, I'm not sponsored by them. Yes, I do know people have friends that sell Pampered Chef. If you would like to order some, please let me know, and I will get you in contact with those. But this is just one of their brushes. It's a silicone brush, so it cleans real well. Alright, so brush your sauce on. And this you can put ever how much you like. You know, you fix it to the way you like it. That's the whole point of making stuff at home, is to do it the way that you like it. And you know what's in it. And these are mostly for Emma for lunch or for suppers. So I'm not putting a whole lot of sauce on them. And also, if you have kids, this is a easy way to sneak some vegetables in their diet. You can, you can, well, you don't have to make homemade spaghetti. I was going to say, if you make homemade spaghetti sauce, you know, you can puree your vegetables and get it to where, you know, it's in there, but they don't see it. Because I know, like that right there, if y'all can see that. See the mushroom right there? Yeah. So, Emma's at the age that she'll probably eat that and not pay no attention to it. But I know, like with Dakota, he would have picked that off. But if I parade it to where it was just looked like sauce, then obviously he couldn't see it, so he couldn't pick it off. And he would still be eating it and getting the nutrients from that vegetable without even knowing it. So that's an easy thing. But like I was going to say, you don't have to do homemade spaghetti sauce to do that. You can take the store-bought and put it in your blender or a food processor or whatever. Or if you have a hand blender, you can use one of those. They're called immersion blenders. And just, you know, parade them vegetables on right on up there, and they won't even know they're in there. They'll just think that's good old spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce or whatever. And that's one thing too, a pizza sauce is not going to have your vegetables in it, whereas spaghetti sauce will. So this is a good, easy way to get your vegetables in your kiddos, and they don't even know it. And I do these little mini bagels because, like I said, they're for Emma, and the mini bagels are easier for her to eat. You can use the regular bagels if you want to, or you can use just regular pizza crust. You can make homemade, or you can buy it at the store, whatever floats your boat, as I say. And fix you some pizzas up and stick them in the freezer and let them flash freeze, and then put them in freezer bags or in your vacuum sealer. And there you go. There's a quick supper or a quick lunch for your kiddos. And then, you know, these little mini bagels right here, that's a good snack when they get home from school. Because I know all about that. When Dakota was in public school, goodness, when he would get out of school, he was starving most usually. Alright, those are on there. Spaghetti sauce is on all of them. Now I have some shredded mozzarella cheese. This I just hand shredded. I have just this little shredder. I also have a mandolin. It's also from Pampered Chef. That I use sometimes, but today I just use the hand grater. And then I buy, this is the block cheese from Walmart. And I grade my own. The block cheese, you don't have to worry about having potato flakes on it. If you all did not know, they use, I don't know if they all do, but I know some of them does. They use potato flakes on bought shredded cheese. They put potato flakes on it to keep it from sticking together. Because if you notice, when you get block cheese like that, see how that's stuck together, those shreds? When you buy shredded cheese, it doesn't stick together like that. Well, that's why. It has potato flakes on it. Most of the time, I do not buy it. If for some reason I have a recipe that calls for a type of cheese that they do not have in a block, sometimes I will buy it, sometimes I will not. I will just substitute a block cheese that we like and that I think sounds good in that recipe. And there you go. You don't always have to follow a recipe. You can do it however you like it. Whatever your family likes to eat, that's how you can do it. You don't have to, if there's something in a recipe that you're like, I don't like that, or my kids don't like that, or my husband don't like that, or whatever, don't put it in there. Take it out. You don't, just because it's on that recipe, it's not written in stone. You don't have to fix it like that. So, I have a lot of people that tell me that. They're like, I don't like that. Or my husband don't like that. Well, they don't like, and I'll ask them, do they not like all of it, or is there a certain ingredient they don't like? And they'll be like, oh, well, they don't like that type of cheese. Well, put a different type of cheese on it. Problem solved. Or they can't have milk. They're lactose intolerant. Use almond milk. Use lactose-free milk. You know, you can buy almond milk that's plain. You don't have to get the flavored. So, anyways, let me get back to what I was doing. So I have shredded mozzarella cheese. I'm going to put a little, like that, on each one. Like I said, these are for Emma, mostly. I mean, I may eat some too. So I'm not going to put a whole lot. Now, as far as amounts and measurements on each one of these, like I've said in some other videos, I'm the type of cook that I very, very rarely measure anything. So, of course, I did not measure this spaghetti sauce when I put it in the bowl. And, of course, I did not measure this cheese when I shredded it up. I just shredded some up. So, whatever you think looks good to you, whatever amount that you or your kids or whoever you're making these for like on theirs, then that's what you use. If you have some left over, pop it in a bag and stick it in the refrigerator. Use it the next day on a recipe or whatever. I would use it pretty soon. I wouldn't keep it in the refrigerator very long. And these don't have to be perfect. I mean, you know, the food police is not going to come in and say, hey, that one there's got more cheese on it than that one over there. You know, what difference does it make? It's on there. I'm going to wash my hands. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so that is on there. Now, you could add chopped onions to these if you wanted to. You could add chopped bell pepper, whatever. If they're for you, put whatever you want. You could do sausage, you could do hamburger meat, whatever you like. If you do add on any vegetables or any meats, I strongly, highly recommend that you cook those vegetables or those meats before you put them on here, because when you go to fix these to eat, you're just going to pop them in the microwave or in the oven just for a few minutes. Basically, you're just heating them up, melting the cheese, thawing them out, basically, is what you're doing. So your meat, especially your meat, will not cook in the length of time that it takes to warm these up once you take them out of the freezer. So, if you do that kind of stuff, like I said, I strongly recommend that you cook it prior to putting it on here, prior to freezing. If you would rather, you can fix it whenever. You could fix them just like this, and then when it's time to eat them, say your daughter wants this one, your son wants this one. Well, she likes onions on hers, but he don't. Okay, cook you up some onions, put some on this, don't put none on that. Or you could freeze them like that. You could make, ever how many for certain person in the family and ever how many for the other person in the family, and they each have their own, then you can label them when you put them in the bags of whose is whose. That way your kids, I mean, you know, if you pop these in the microwave, some older kids, you know, when they come in from school, they can warm them up themselves. And they're in their bags with their names on them, and they know which one is theirs. So, I'm going to pop these in the freezer. I'm going to flash freeze them, and then I will bring you back when I go to vacuum seal them. Alright guys, so I'm back now. It is afternoon because somebody had to have their nap. Alright, so now these are flash froze. See? See how the cheese is not? See? Now, if you put pepperoni on them, and probably any other meat, like I was saying earlier about you could put meat on them. If you put meat, pepperoni, or any kind of other meat, or probably even like vegetables, like I was talking about, like onions or peppers or whatever you, besides anything besides what's on here on these, more than likely will not freeze like to stay on there. You know, when you buy a frozen pizza, when you take it out of the package, stuff's falling off of it. The same's going to happen here. So, what you can do is you can just stick them in your bag with them, and then place them where you want them, how you want them, whatever, when you go to cook them. So, Emma's already had 2 of these. She had them I stuck her a couple for lunch, and I stuck them in my oven at 350 for 5 minutes. Now, if you want them crispy, you need to cook them a little longer. I'd say probably at least 10 minutes, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes at 350 in order to be crispy. Hers was not crispy, but she's a baby with only, 8 teeth, so I wanted them soft where she could eat them and chew them easily. So, like I said, I'm going to show you guys how to vacuum seal these. Obviously, I hope you guys know how to stick them in the freezer bag if you don't have a vacuum sealer. So, I'm not going to show you that. But I am going to show you how to vacuum seal. So, I'm going to put... I'm going to put 2 in each one. I really could use some pint size bags for this, but I don't have any. All I got is quart, so it's going to have to work. So I'm going to put 2 in each one, in a few of them, probably most of them, and then I might do a couple with 4 in each one, and those will be like for me or Rob, and I'll probably get more next time and do this again at the next grocery haul. Really? She's excited about it. Alright guys, I'm going to bring you over here and y'all can watch me. I'll show you how to vacuum seal. Alright, since my bag is too big, I'm going to cut it off. Make sure when you do this though that you leave enough room up here. I don't remember what the book says. I believe it says like 1 inch or 2, maybe 3 inches. Obviously that's not 3 inches, but it's room enough. My food saver is just a simple, nothing fancy. Just your regular old food saver. Alright, so you want to stick it in here like that. And then shut your lid. Turn your knob over here to operate. Then you push your green button here. It says vac/seal. And when it's done, see it kicks off and this light comes on. And it is sealing it. When I believe, yep, when those 2 lights go off, then it's done. Open it up. And it's sealed. Just like that. Easy peasy. Alright guys, I'm going to get the rest of these in the freezer. And thank you for watching my first episode of Freezer Friendly Friday. Bye.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.